Tourism Pathshala, it will transform your dream into reality. Good morning, my dear student. Today, we are going to learn and understand the important previous year question of UGC NET June 2024. The first question, all questions are based on research and statistics. Our first question is based on which of the following expression is used in the research report when two or more successive footnote refer to the previously cited work. This question is based on review of literature. Review of literature. This question is based on the review of literature, and they have given the four options. The first option, loc.cit, second op.cit, third cf.acq, and pre-re.cit. What is the first option? The first option is the correct. The loc.cit. Why it is correct? Because these are the detailed explanation. In research writing, especially in footnote and referencing, certain Latin abbreviation are used to avoid repetition. This point is very important. The certain Latin abbreviation are used. This abbreviation loc.cit means the in the place, the Latin word lococitation, meaning in the place cited. When it is used, the same work is cited again. Number two, the same page number is also being referred. Number three, appears in successive footnote. Why other option is incorrect? This is the very important area. Why other option is incorrect? OPCIT means opera cited. It means in the work cited. When it is referencing to previously cited work, but not necessarily the same page, not specifically for successive citation. The confer means the compare, used to suggest comparison with another source, not related to repeated citation. That is called confer. What is pre-CIT? Not standard or widely accepted reference abbreviation. So these are the final concept summary. loc.cit means in the place cited, same work, same page and successive footnote. Here you will get same work, same page and successive footnote. OPCIT means in the work cited, same work but different page. This point is important. CF means the compare, the used condition suggest comparison, and pre-c.cit not standard, not used. So these are our first question. This question is based on review on literature. What are the next question? Our next question is based on June 24. Which of the following are not corrected about the measure's central tendency? This question is based on descriptive statistics. In the case, the first statement, arithmetic mean is affected least by fluctuation of sampling. Second point, the sum of absolute deviation of given set of observation is minimum when taken from the median. Third, median is only average used while dealing with qualitative characteristics. Mean median mode coincide in case of non-symmetrical distribution. So our question is which are not correct which are not correct. Now, first of all, individually we analysis a statement. First statement, arithmetic mean is affected least by fluctuation of sampling. Fluctuation of sampling. This statement is incorrect because fluctuation of sampling, in the case of arithmetic mean, fluctuation of sampling, the highly affected. Arithmetic mean is actually highly affected by sampling, fluctuation and external value, and it is not the most stable measures. Arithmetic mean is not most stable measure in this scene. Statement 2, the sum of absolute deviation is minimum when taken from median. This is correct. The sum of absolute deviation, this is the sum of absolute deviation of mean is minimum. This is the property of median. So this statement is correct. But we have to find out what is the incorrect statement. The median is only average used while dealing with the qualitative characteristics. This is the incorrect. Why incorrect? Median is mainly used in the quantitative or ordinal data, not purely qualitative data. In the qualitative data, or in the case of qualitative data, we use the nominal data, typically used in mode, not median. This statement also incorrect. So mode, statement D, mode is not affected by the fluctuation of sampling. This is correct. Why correct? Mode is based on most frequent value, so it is less affected by extreme value and sampling fluctuation. And D, mean, median, mode coincide in case of non-symmetrical distribution. This is incorrect statement. Why? This is mean, median and mode. Mean, median and mode coincide in the case of symmetrical distribution, not skewed or non-symmetrical distribution. Symmetrical distribution in the case of normal probability curve, symmetrical distribution, mean, median, mode are the equal. Mean equal, mean, median, mode equal. Mean, median equal to mode in the case of normal distribution. Normal distribution curve is a symmetrical curve. A non-normal distribution curve, non-symmetrical curve. So answer is ACE. A, statement A, statement C and statement E are the incorrect. ACE. Actually A, B, C, D, E. ACE is the incorrect. So now we move on our next question. What is the next question? Now we move on the next question. Our next question is based on the following statement are correct, except the Kruskal-Wallis H test. In the case of Kruskal-Wallis H test, the Kruskal-Wallis H test is a score dependent. The first statement, Kruskal-Wallis H test is the score dependent. This statement is the incorrect. Why incorrect? We have to evaluate this statement. We have to evaluate because Kruskal-Wallis H test is score dependent. Score dependent. Kruskal-Wallis H test is a non-parametric statistical test and it is based on rank, not actual score. So this is a rank dependence, not score dependent. Our statement has given that Kruskal-Wallis H test is the score dependent. This is the wrong. It should be the rank dependent. So this statement is the wrong statement. So H test is applicable when sample are taken from population having identical variables. Statement 2 is the correct. Now T test when comparing the mean of sampling. T-test, not H-test, T-test is applicable. So T-test is used when comparing the mean of sample. Its sample comes from population, the same types of variable, often similar variance, especially in the case of independent t-test. Statement 3, scatter plot shows the relationship between two variables. This is the correct. Scatter plot visually display relationship between two variables. It helps to identify positive or negative variable or strength relationship. The statement 4, a normal distribution curve depends on mean and standard deviation. This is the correct. Normal distribution is completely defined, mean or center, and standard deviation means spread. So this statement also right. Now we move on our next question. Next question is based on arrange the following step in factor analysis. They have given the step A, preparation of correlation matrix, B, factor rotation, C, deciding the factor to be written, D, substantive interpretation, E, checking the model fit. So what would be the correct option? The correct sequence. A, the correct sequence, first, preparation of correlation matrix. A factor analysis begin with the examine the relationship between the among variable. Correlation matrix is constructed to see how variables are interrelated. Second, C, deciding the factor to be written. Step 2, there is certain criteria. Use the eigenvalue should be greater than 1. Scree plot or variance explained. We are deciding the factor to be written. Third point, factor rotation. Factor rotation done to make more interpretable. Simplify the structure. Varimax rotation. D, substantive rotation, reinterpretation. Now they interpret each factor meaningfully and assign name based on variable, loading to each other. Next point, E, checking the model fit. In the case of model fit of data, method include goodness of fit test and residual test. So correct sequence A, C, B, D, E. A, C, B, D, E is the correct sequence. Now we move on our next question. In the case of non-probability, this question is based on non-probability sampling. Non-probability sampling method are the characteristics of time-consuming. Non-probability sampling method are characterized as they have given the 5 statement: time-consuming. Second, complete list of population element necessary. C, low cost per unit sample. D, accuracy and reliability unknown. And E, sampling error measurement measures available. So statement wise analysis, time consuming is the incorrect. This is incorrect. Why? Non-probability sampling is usually used quickly, not time consuming. B, complete list of population element necessary. That is also the incorrect. Why? Non-probability sampling, not such list is needed. We just select available or suitable respondent. So complete list of population element not necessary. C, low cost per unit sample. This is correct because no need for complex design or random selection or large resources. So this is the major advantage of non-probability sampling because it's a low cost per unit sample. Case in the example, interviewing people in a small is very low cost. D, accuracy and reliability unknown. That is the correct. In the case of non-probability sampling, accuracy and reliability unknown. Accuracy is certain and result cannot be generalized because the selection is biased, not random. Accuracy and reliability unknown. Why? Selection is biased, not random. and some group may be overrepresented or missing. So accuracy is in uncertain in case of non-probability sampling. Result cannot be generalized. This statement also correct. Final sampling error measurement measures available. That is also incorrect. Why incorrect? Because in probability sampling, we can calculate sampling error confidence interval. So, what is the quick memory trick? These are the quick memory trick. Non-probability sampling, cheap, quick, biased, plus no error measurement. So, option number non-probability sampling method are characterized by C is the correct, C correct, low cost per unit, and another correct D accuracy and reliability unknown. So in the case of non-probability sampling method, C and D, low cost per unit sample and accuracy and reliability unknown. This C and D is correct. Now we move on the next question. What is our next question? Next question is based on research is the process of collecting either the primary or secondary data using an appropriate method in order to find our procedure to understand the topic. So they have given causal research, exploratory research, descriptive research, and predictive research. But the key clue, this is the informal procedure can use primary or secondary data. Explanation of each option. In the case of causal research, we focus on cause-effect relationship, use structure and control method, not formal, that is the incorrect. Causal research incorrect. Exploratory research explain why something happened, more structure and theory driven, not mainly unstructured. Exploratory research conduct when problem is not clearly defined, use unstructured method, case interview, case discussion, informal procedure, flexible and open-ended, can use both primary and secondary data. So our question, research is the process of collecting either the primary or secondary data. The correct option, the exploratory research. In the case of exploratory research, primary and secondary data using the appropriate method in order find out procedure to understand the topic. Another form, descriptive research. Descriptive research describe the characteristics, who, what, when, where, and use structured survey. The structured tools like survey. And predictive research focus on forecasting future outcome, use statistical method. So in the case final note, exploratory research is the correct option. This is a quick memory tip. Exploratory means explore, no structure, informal and flexible. Our next question, our last question, this question is based on the matching, the qualitative research method, the ethnography, phenomenology, grounded theory, and case study. The case of ethnography means and qualitative research method and description. Ethnography means ethnography involves the immersing oneself in the social setting for a long time to observe behavior. Main area, observe behaviors and interaction. This is a social setting. And these clearly match with two. Match with ethnography with the two. The key features, long-term immersion, direct observation, participation in daily life, understanding culture and norm. Ethnography means immersion. Second point, phenomenology. Phenomenology is related with one. Why? Phenomenology studies people's lived experience, how they interpret the world. Key features, focus on subjective experience, understanding meaning from the participant perspective, use bracketing. So setting aside researcher bias. The conclusion, phenomenology is a live experience plus meaning. Avoid description highlight. The personal meaning making or bracketing means core concept in phenomenology. Personal meaning making, and bracketing is the core concept of phenomenology. So phenomenology, how individual make sense of world around them and how the research should back it out, pre-concepting concerning his group of the world. And final number C, grounded theory. So grounded theory is used to develop new theory from data instead of starting with hypothesis. Key features: data collection, analysis, coding and categorizing the data, and theory emerge from pattern. Conclusion: grounded theory is the theory from data. The grounded theory is related with the three: analysis, the qualitative data that aim to generate theory out of research data, and case study. So D4, case study. Case study means the in-depth investigation of single unit. Key features: detailed holistic study, often include historical background and use multiple resources, document, interview, and method. So A3, A2, B1, A2, B1, A2, B1, C3, and D4. These are the correct option. Now, this is a final part, the comparative study between phenomenology, case study, and ethnographic study. Phenomenology, in the case of phenomenology, main focus live experience. In the case study, main focus in depth case. Ethnography, main focus culture and group, and grounded theory, main focus theory building. Core question of phenomenology is, what is experience like? The core question is the case study, what happened in case. Core question of ethnography, how group lives. Core question of grounded theory, what theory explained. In the case of unit, phenomenology is the individual, case study is the case, person or event, ethnography in the case of community, grounded theory, main unit, the process. Goal of the phenomenology is experience, essence of experience. Goal of case study, detailed understanding. Goal of ethnography is the cultural interpretation. Goal of grounded theory, developed theory. Data collection method of phenomenology is interview. In the case of case study, mixed source. Case of ethnography, we collect the data, observation and field work. In case of grounded theory, we collect the data, interview. Finally, outcome. Phenomenology outcome, experience description. Case study is the case report. Ethnography's outcome, cultural insight. Grounded theory outcome, theory model. So, phenomenology focus on subjective life experience. Case study examine the specific case in depth. Ethnography study cultural pattern of group. Grounded theory develop theory from systematical collecting data. So, my dear student, these are our detailed analysis of the question paper of June 2024 of UGC NET. These are the area based on research and statistics. If any confusion, you can contact with me. If you want to take the personal tuition and guidance from UGC NET upcoming exam June 2026, you may contact as soon as possible. Thank you.